Go.
Hello everyone, my name is Eric Fellum. I just want to do a short video on what I see as a problem here in our country. And I'm here standing in front of the Proctor's Theater in Troy. And I just want to use this as a backdrop for a reason. But a couple days ago I saw a video posted by a woman in North Carolina. And she was talking about how where she was a very prosperous area at one time. It was really into furniture making, and North Carolina used to be the capital of furniture making in the world, and it was very well known and renowned for that. And she was just showing how in the background, she was showing how there were so many abandoned warehouses and industrial sites and furniture making plants. And she was just making the point about the tariffs that President Trump has imposed on the rest of the world in a spirit of fairness towards America. And she was showing how the tariff regime and the foreign policy and instituted and heaped upon us by our so-called leaders really it devastated this town and just left it completely abandoned, and a lot of the places were ghost towns, and there was no place to work, and it was just left to rot and decay, and why our politicians and our leaders allowed this to happen is anybody's guess. But I suppose, after World War II, when other economies in Europe was pretty much they were devastated, and Japan, maybe some of these tariff policies made sense to get these countries back on track. But it's long past that now, and I think it's time that we as a people recognize that it's either now or never to revive America and to get us back on track to start building our own things and start producing our own products and not be so dependent upon the foreign countries, whether they be allies or whether they be adversaries. It's never a good position to be in a position like we find ourselves in now. And I place the blame on Republicans and Democrats. Democrats just seem to actively pursue the policy to undermine America, while Republicans just sit by and watch them do it. So anyhow, I picked Troy here as just my example. Behind me is the Proctor's Theater, which is a very dear spot in my heart. And from years ago when I was growing up, this is the place where I would come. Troy was a very vibrant and very exciting city. It was a mini Brooklyn in a lot of ways. A lot of brownstones. There was a lot of foot traffic, a lot of people, a lot of action. And this Proctor's Theater was just a marvelous theater. It's the first place I ever went. To a movie house, and just going in, it was so grand and so beautiful, and it had a balcony, and it had a beautiful lobby, and it was just a grand place in its day. And now it's kind of emblematic of what's happened to Troy and probably thousands of different small cities and towns around this country. It's gutted, it's empty, it's forlorn, nobody wants it, nobody's interested in it, and it's all it has done is decay. And it's kind of emblematic of the city of Troy, that once was really a very vibrant city in its day. And there was a lot going on. It was, my family would come down here, we would shop. There was a Denby's, there was a Woolworths, there was a Stanley's, there was stores up and down. There was manufacturing everywhere. In fact, it was known as the Collar City at one point. And because it was a textile manufacturer, and due to and there was other factories and stuff. I know there was a 3M someplace, and these factories were all over the place in Troy, and it was really a prosperous city, and it was a great place to be. And through the years, through different trade policies and economic policies, imposed on us by our government, it just made it attractive for some of these businesses to go overseas, and some of them just to close up shop because they just couldn't handle the influx of cheap foreign goods. And for those who did, manage to survive, they had to go to foreign countries, Japan and several Asian countries, and principally now China. And now we're in a very vulnerable position. And you can see, if you look out here, you can see the kind of emblematic of what has happened. I'm going to be here. Okay. It's kind of emblematic of what has happened to Troy over the years. And although Troy has made some progress in recent years, it's nowhere near what it used to be at one time. And these with its brownstones, this was a lovely street. And I remember being out here with my father and my brother. We're going in to see my first James Bond movie, From Russia with Love, and it was just enchanting. And I just loved it. And I would come down here on weekends with a friend of mine almost every weekend, and we would just hang out in Troy, go from one place to the next. And Troy has completely lost that charm, and it's sad. And there's no manufacturing, there's no industry, there's very little job opportunity outside of state employment. And though, like I said, it has made some progress, and there's a quaint shop, and there's like a lot of boutique shopping and restaurants. I mean, but that doesn't produce income. That doesn't produce wealth. That needs wealth to survive. So I just wanted to be here to show you that that we really have to, as a people, come to realize that this tariff war that Trump is engaged in, it's really our last chance to capture what we once had, and to bring industry back, and to say enough is enough to the rest of the world, that okay, our inner cities are devastated, all of our they've said like 90,000 factories and plants have been abandoned or going overseas. And it's just unbearable. And this is really our last chance to get back on track. And I would urge all of you to, if you're in a city or someplace nearby, make a film like a video like this, and show what's happened to certain sectors of our society. A lot of people are just getting left back, and it just can't be this way anymore. And so I would just encourage you to support Trump. I know it's difficult, and I know it's it's kind of nerve-wracking, but really, folks, it's our only chance. If we're going to bring back industry and stop being so dependent upon, particularly the adversary of China. I mean, come on. They're not exactly a compassionate and fair-dealing nation. And if they had the chance to completely crush us, they would, and they're working on it. So anyhow, I just. Like I said, I'm just trying to encourage everybody to really relax and to go with Trump on this issue, because it truly is America's last chance. I don't think there will be another leader, another politician, another president that will have what it takes to take on what needs to be taken on to revive American industry and productivity. Okay, so that's it. That's a sad tale, but it's not hopeless. So thank you for your time.